Before we begin, make sure you follow me on these social medias: Facebook, Twitter, Discord, and Instagram. What's going on, Masterminds? Mastar back, and today we're talking about Dragon Ball Super episode 118. Two universes have just been eliminated in the Tournament of Power, which was very satisfying, but I gotta be honest, a lot of this episode was really just a joke episode. It was very comical. I mean, seeing Zirloin run around in Ribrianne's costume just made me facepalm a whole bunch of times. I get it that like they wanted to make a big deal out of Universe 2 being erased, but it was like somehow they managed to give us Ribrianne again, like for one more episode, even though it was like Ribrianne the man, but it was still like, for God's sake, just can we be over with this whole Ribrianne thing already? Like her outfit looks so stupid, which is the entire reasoning behind me saying that this was kind of like a joke episode, but we know that it wasn't fully a joke episode because two universes got erased, including Champa. Universe 6 and Champa are gone for good, which took us by a big surprise. We knew Universe 2 was going to go. We didn't know for sure that Universe 6 was going to go, but they did. And damn, I mean, Champa is gone, guys. That's it for Beerus' brother. I gotta say the animation and the action sequences, very good in this episode, although they did use a ton of reused animation. I forgave them because it seemed like their picture count was even over 4,500 for this episode. I could be wrong about that, but there was a lot of very fluid animations of the characters and even of like effects and things like that, like even the black hole. It was pretty evident to me that they definitely put in a lot of work on this episode, even though we didn't get Ultra Instinct. So overall, I was pretty satisfied as far as would I go and watch this episode again. I mean, probably not the full episode, but I really liked the fight between Gohan and Piccolo. That's another thing I wanted to talk about, was they actually made Gohan seem like a beast in this episode, and it's like, thank God. I mean, it's about time, because Gohan is so freaking strong, and this entire Tournament of Power, they have not given him that God mode, you know, ultimate form power that Gohan has that puts him above everybody else. They just haven't put him up on the pedestal as the ultimate form Gohan that's stronger than a Super Saiyan 3, like in his base form. But in the defense of the Namekians, it turns out that I was correct with my theory that they did actually fuse with tons of other Namekians, which, you know, in their defense does make a lot of sense that, hey, these guys have fused with, you know, it looked like 100 Namekians each, if not more than that, like almost like the entire planet fused into them. These guys volunteered to fuse because it's the fate of the universe, and Namekians are like a very wise race. You know, they're not very selfish and things like that. So I definitely see the Namekians all like pitching in and being like, yeah, we'll all fuse with you, you know, it's our only hope anyway. So they were insanely powerful, and the fight was good. I really liked that fight. As far as the fight between Goku 17-18 against the Universe 2 Warriors, oh God, I mean, I think it was just a little ridiculous. I mean, why do they make these fodder characters, these super weak characters, transform into like Ribrianne and crew and take on Goku and company? And it's like they're actually having a kind of like a challenge. It was just that half of the episode I really didn't like. I think that Goku should have just blasted them off fairly easily, especially considering the other interesting thing, which is that Goku was able to transform into Super Saiyan Blue and even use Kaioken at the end there to boost his Kamehameha and blast them off. So I thought that Goku was out of energy at this point. I mean, he got done fighting with Jiren. Frieza gave him some energy, but then he had this super long and intense battle with Cauliflower and Kale, and they fuse into Kefla. It pushes him all the way into Ultra Instinct, and we see Goku on his knees holding his chest after Ultra Instinct is done because he's so exhausted from going through his forms and all of these battles and everything. But when it comes to fighting these guys, lo and behold, Goku has a lot of energy left. Now there is an explanation there from Whis in that Goku is wanting to just challenge himself, to push himself even further. He knows he's exhausted, but he wants to break his limits by seeing how far he can push himself even when he's got nothing left in the tank, and I gotta admit that's kind of cool. But Whis says this something very interesting in that because Goku is doing this, essentially he's getting stronger during the Tournament of Power, And because he's getting stronger, it's going to make it harder and harder for him to quote unquote break through the shell again when he decides that he wants to go back into Ultra Instinct, when he's going to fight Jiren again. It's going to be basically, Whis is telling us that it's getting more difficult for Goku to obtain Ultra Instinct, or at least to go into the form, the more powerful he gets, because it's going to require a much more traumatic blast or life-threatening injury or something like that to push him past his limit. I'm hoping that Goku is able to get the control of Ultra Instinct, and we don't go this route that, you know, he can only pull it out when he's about to die, which I guess kind of makes sense, and it's kind of cool in its own right, because all of Goku's other forms he can just go into it whenever he wants, whereas Ultra Instinct may be a form that he can't just access whenever he wants. It's more of just, it comes as a last resort type of deal, but when he's in that form, he's like God mode. Now, at the very end of the episode, you see Vegeta pissed off. He's like, I'm in a bad mood right now. And I believe the reason that he's in a bad mood is because Goku, with this episode, knocking out 3 people, has just passed Vegeta, who has been the MVP nearly the entire tournament with the most knockouts. Now Goku, with these 3 gone, has the most knockouts in the Tournament of Power, making him the MVP and taking Vegeta's title. And I think that really pissed Vegeta off quite a bit, and that's why he's going to take out his anger on Cato Pesla right here. This episode was 2 minutes long, so there is now only 13 minutes left in the Tournament of Power. We have 2 more universes erased. Now there is only 4 universes remaining: Universe 3, 4, 7, and 11. Next week we'll be taking on Universe 4, and it definitely looks like it's going to be a challenge. Now, Universe 4 actually looks like it's going to be a challenge. It looks like it's going to be tough. Universe 3, we know that the 3 robot guys can still probably transform or combine into a super robot. I hope that doesn't knock anybody out. I don't think it should, but that is technically their method of fusion. Time is running out for a big 7-on-11 showdown. Now, spoiler warning, we know somebody is going to get knocked out and sacrifice themselves next episode, and I believe that's going to be Android 17. I kind of got even further of a confirmation of that feeling because of this image they showed from the preview, but obviously, guys, I'm going to do my preview breakdown tomorrow, so I'll talk about that more there. But what does that mean for the future of the Tournament of Power? I mean, is Jiren just going to like start knocking everybody off on Universe 7? That could be pretty interesting. We still got to see what happens with Vegeta and Frieza taking on Toppo and Dispo maybe. I mean, there's a lot of various battles that could be going on. So I'm really excited about what the future holds. We've gotten all these crummy universes out there. Universe 6 wasn't a crummy universe. I mean, they were strong and they had a lot of character development. So it's actually pretty pivotal that they took out Universe 6, especially this early. I mean, you would think that Universe 6 would be like the 3rd from last to go, but they're gone. And it was definitely really surprising, but I mean, they got their fair share of episodes. I mean, Caulifla, I feel like, got more screen time than Gohan. Maybe that'll change now that all of them are gone. But while we're on the topic of Universe 6, let's talk about Champa making the face at Beerus, and let's talk about like Beerus not even really caring that much that Champa was gone. I mean, Whis was like, hey, it's your brother. I mean, I know you want Gohan to win, but then your brother gets erased from existence, and Beerus goes and cheers on Gohan. It's like he doesn't care about Champa, but I think deep down he does, because as Champa is erased, Beerus is just standing there and he says, say something, as if somebody talk to me because my brother just got erased. I don't know. I could be wrong there. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. Does he care Champa's gone? I mean, they've always kind of showed this brotherly love-hate relationship between Beerus and Champa. But Champa obviously didn't care about Beerus in this entire tournament. I mean, he kept going after Universe 7 all the time, especially when they were down. He was trying to kick the fighters while they were down. I mean, he was showing no sympathy to Beerus whatsoever. So maybe Beerus is just on that route where he's like, you know, you didn't give me any sympathy, I'm not going to give you any sympathy. So let me know what you guys think about Beerus in this whole situation below. And the last thing I want to talk about, guys, is how the 2 universes that got erased didn't really care. They weren't scared, they didn't flinch, they just accepted it. Even Champa just accepted it. And kind of the way that Vados was just joking about his erasure the entire episode made me feel like these people who are getting erased can't really be getting erased. Like, they have got to all be teleporting somewhere, and the angels have got to be in on this. I mean, that's the feeling that I'm getting. Again, guys, let me know what you think, but I just don't think that they're literally just erasing all of these innocent lives in all of these universes and just obliterating people left and right. They gotta just be teleported somewhere, or the angels are in on it, or there is no doubt that if they are getting obliterated, that they'll definitely all be returning with the wish from the Super Dragon Balls, which that's a topic for an entirely different day. You know, if it's just that simple, it's that there's one wish granted and all his universes get erased and then Goku wishes them all back. That's probably something I'll do an entire video on later down the road. Overall, review wise, as for a rating, I'd probably give this episode like a 7 out of 10, and it's only that high just because of the animation being so good in this episode. Now, I know they reused animation, so maybe they get docked a couple micro points there, something like that, but animation was good, but I feel like they could have written this episode a lot better. I think the whole thing with Universe 2, they could have done that a whole lot better. I really love the Gohan vs. Piccolo thing, so maybe like a 7.5 or something like that, but I'm not going to go back and watch like half this episode. It's only going to be the parts with Gohan and Piccolo versus Salnel and Piranha, because that was epic, but the rest of the episode, And it just didn't seem very dramatic that these universes got erased. It was like too kid-friendly, and that kind of got on my nerves a little bit. I mean, that's a serious thing, your entire universe getting erased. So that's what my thoughts, guys. Let me know your thoughts below, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow for the Dragon Ball Super episode 119 preview as Universe 4's Invisible Warriors start to attack Universe 7. Thanks, guys, and I'll catch you tomorrow.